I live in a housing estate in North Belfast called Rathcoole, and I've been there all my life. I kept hearing people telling me I lived in this area of deprivation, which it is, but I didn't feel deprived. 36 years I've lived in the same house. I have brought up my children in the same house. I live with my mum, my husband, my son who's 19, and Lily. Within our home, Lily is perfectly normal, comfortable with everybody, talk away, can engage. Lily is 14 and hasn't been in school in 5 years. Playing on her Xbox, doing her drawing. And my job's to fix everything. I'm a mummy. Mummies are fixers, but I couldn't fix any of it because I couldn't work out what the issue was. So when I looked at people to give me information, it was like, this is just how she is. Lily just doesn't like interacting. This is just how she is going to be. And it's like, well, address that. But nobody ever did. It was easier to leave her sitting in the corner. She had gone into nursery school and they'd said, oh, well, Lily didn't do anything today. She's just sat over there by herself playing with whatever. But why, if you don't engage with her, she won't engage with you? Every morning I'd have been dragging that child up the street by the arm, because she didn't want to go. And it's like, don't be ridiculous, come on, and you put yourself through this. And she'd have got to the door of the school and she'd have turned on her heels to try and leave. The school didn't understand why or why I couldn't just make her come in. People were like, oh, you should be getting this help for her and getting that help for her. But I'm looking at it going, but that's my job. I'm her mum. That's what I'm here to do. But there comes a point where you have to look at it and go, that's not being a mummy anymore. This is a different role you're taking on. Mummy and carer are two different people. It didn't matter who I spoke to. I was dismissed. Don't be neurotic. You're looking for things that aren't there. So doctors, pediatricians, everybody that you meet along the way, not quite, no, we can't help you. Still we go into the school system. No, we really can't. And that's it. She was just treated like a wee quiet girl that sat in the corner, but that's not what she is. She's this person with complex needs. She'd have been 8 when she got her diagnosis. And you get the diagnosis, but it changes nothing. All it's done is give you this label. So now you have this label. What do you do? And you're relying on the health service, the education board to direct you. But we've seen with Lily, they didn't direct me anywhere. That's just how she is. She just sits there. Instead of going, this child quite clearly has a social problem. How do we address this? They assess your educational need. But my thing with educational need is it's not just about educating them, it's about their mental health. If Lily's mental health had been addressed at that age, would she be in the education system now? Would she be sitting in a classroom? Would she be able to cope? I won't know. I won't ever know because we're now where we are. We had gone to McDonald's and I had walked to the counter. It was literally 2 steps away. And when I come back to the table, Lily was sitting, she was quite distressed, couldn't understand what had happened. And the girl at the next table had said, oh, I think my friend has upset her. The wee girl seen that she was upset, but she didn't leave it at that. She kept pushing and pushing and pushing until she got a reaction. She got the reaction and then it freaked her out. And at that, Lily just lost it. Then that was the end of, we don't do McDonald's anymore. We don't go to the Abbey Centre. We don't do the normal routines. Stop looking at people like that and judging them. Instead of standing stern and making the issue 10 times worse, walk on by or can I help? It's that easy. In starting the group within our community, I met other parents who maybe their children aren't the same. They have whatever their diagnosis may be, but the parents are all experiencing the same thing. I meet these people on a Saturday and I might talk the biggest load of crap, but you know what? They understand because they're getting the same crap at home and they're looking at it and going, I thought I was mad, I was the only person going through this. And it is just understanding that you're not nuts, but it's just the social thing. I mean, for Lily actually would go on a Saturday. She doesn't say anything, she doesn't do anything, but she'll be hanging in the corner with her chum and she's talking to them. That's massive because before she wouldn't have hung out and spoke to somebody. And it's only a tiny thing, but it makes a big difference in our world. Part of being with the autism group as well is I have spoke to various people who are work in services in autism. I've sat in a room with counsellors in my area. Everybody was there, including our local MLA. And I stood up and I told them at that point, Lily's been out of school 3 years. I've turned here, there. I can't get any help. And essentially, it was all, that's awful, that's terrible. And at the end of it, come and speak to us, see how we can help you. And at the end of it, they didn't speak. They actually walked straight past me and spoke to somebody else who their child had been out of education. They had got them back in, went along, well done on getting your child back into education, and see you. We had education welfare and stuff come out because that's normal procedure. They recognised straight away that this was a mental health issue and not an education issue. And to a degree that's right, because educating her wouldn't have fixed this. She needs to address the anxiety. But that then puts you into a system where, so you're now waiting for CAMS, which is the Children and Adolescent Mental Health Service. So I have gone back and forth between CAMS and the ASD service since Lily was about 8-year-old. Now we're back into the system. CAMS are now working with her. But we're 6 years too late, I think. She should be currently picking her subjects to do her GCSEs. She hasn't had an education since P5. In P5 she was already disengaged. I don't know where she would be educationally. I certainly don't think she could be doing GCSEs. When she falls into this school category, she will be treated as a fourth year. She can't be. This is a mental health problem. This is an education problem. This is the health system. They're all involved. It's not just this one person who needs shoved over here and that's solved, because it's not. It's depressing. It's sad to see that your kid can't get the help that she needs, that it's out there and nobody will help her. This is the last special educational needs statement. So this assessment indicates that Lily is of average cognitive ability with poor working memory skills in the bottom 2% of the population. Lily could tell you the entire history of the minute Bayern Munich is her football club. I don't know why, she just totally loves them. But she could tell you the history of them inside out. She could name you every player. So if she can remember those things, that tells me she does have good memory skills. So the person who assessed her isn't getting a clear view of the real Lily. They're getting this person who wouldn't interact with them. What I do want is nobody to have to sit and go through this, because this is hell. It is. My tiny wee daughter is now quite a big daughter and is nearly ready to go into the world, and I look at her peers and they're prepared and can go out and do stuff. Lily couldn't. What happens if I'm not here? Who's going to go out there and shout and make sure that she is looked after, that she is not being victimised or picked upon, being left out there with people who will treat her appallingly? The school have decided that they remember that we exist, and now they will put in for funding for 5 hours a week for a teaching assistant to come and work with Lily, either in her home, at a library, in the school, wherever, just initially to try and engage her. I don't know that will work. I don't know whether it's been left too long, but we'll try.